everyone, my name is William Strife and welcome back to Strife Solutions. And look at it, guys, the tower is finished, it's complete. I'm sitting here on the roof, you know, all of the smooth stone is in, the fence is on, the magma toppers are atop the fence. It's fantastic and I'm loving the way that this place looks. Let's go ahead and look around a little bit here before just come on, let's look around. So first off, we've got the elevator block here with, you know, this wonderful glass floor where you can see all the way down to the bottom and wonder whether or not the floor is going to fail and, you know, kill you instantaneously from a way too far fall. Yeah, there's that. And then, of course, the elevator block itself with these fantastic, fancy little signboards showing you what level you can go to. Let's just, let's hop down to level 4, hey? Here we go. Okay, so here I am on level 4. As you can see, it's basically empty. There's nothing going on here. There's no furniture. There's no purpose to it yet, which is the case with brand new construction. You know, you begin fresh, you begin anew. It's like buying a brand new house. There's nothing inside of it yet. You haven't really moved in yet. And for me, I have to build out infrastructure. So I don't really know what's going to go on most of these floors. I know that I'll probably just put office workers on level 2, and then I'll put my penthouse up on level 5. But levels 4 and 3, I don't really know what I'm going to put here. I'll figure things out eventually, but for now, I have levels 3 and 4 to figure out what on earth I'm going to put on them. Let's head back down to the main level. And I mean, I love oh my god, this elevator block is so amazing. I love it. Let's go ahead and hop outside, and you know, this place is grand. Look at that. It is amazing. It's a wondrous sight to see. Just the height, the grandeur, the imposing fortitude of it. It's fantastic. Now, unfortunately, the grounds around the tower are still very barren and plain. That's mostly because the workforce, they've been hard at work actually building the tower itself. So, I'll just move the workers over to, you know, beautifying the grounds around it. Also, putting the dirt on top of the platform that hides the creeper spawner out here, because that's a project that needs to get done as well. And the creeper spawner platform actually has an obsidian slab on it, which brings us to what today's project and or topic is. Let's go ahead and hop back inside. As you know, last time, I went blast mining in the Nether, and I absolutely ripped apart and marred that landscape, and I got more than enough netherrack in order to get the supplies to finish the tower, but I also got a lot of ancient debris, okay? As you can see right here, ancient debris. I have 32 of it right here. More than that, actually, is what I ended up finding. But let's go over what I actually know about ancient debris, okay? Let's go back to the start. So whenever I initially found this stuff when manually mining in the Nether, what I found out right away was that it only breaks with a diamond pickaxe, okay? Which now that I've done a lot of experimentation, I know that it is as hard, if not harder, than obsidian, okay? And the reason I know that is because of the obsidian platform out there. While I was blast mining, the ancient debris was never damaged by the explosions, okay? So I took it and I threw it onto an obsidian platform and I blasted it point blank, not a scratch. It didn't break apart, it didn't end up with a scuff or a mark, nothing, okay? So I can guarantee, I can verifiably say it is 100% blast proof. But here's the thing, if you run your hand over this stuff, it's incredibly porous, okay? Which comes into another part. After blast mining, I decided, okay, well, if it's that durable, what happens? It must be heat resistant. I threw it into a fire. It didn't burn. It didn't burn at all, which is amazing. Obsidian would burn if you threw it into a fire. Then I took it one step further. I threw it into lava, and not only did it not burn, it floats in lava. That just blew me completely away. Ancient debris floats in lava. I never expected that to be the case, which, like I said, if you run your hand over this, it's very porous. I think it's 90% air, okay? So if you smelt it down, it turns into basically nothing, okay? And this brings me to what I found out whenever I did smelt it down. Over here, it turns into what I call netherite scrap, and why I call it netherite will become clear in a moment here. I'm going to go ahead and just set the rest of this scrap, this ancient debris to smelt. We're going to go ahead and grab this. This netherite scrap it's incredibly small, okay? There's incredibly little of it, and because it's as hard or harder than obsidian, you can't make tools out of obsidian, okay? Obsidian breaks apart whenever you try to cast it or you know, form it into something. Basically, the hardness also contributes to it being very brittle and difficult to work with. Metal, however, is another story. You can pour that into a mold because you can melt it down into something, you know, like bubbly and gooey or whatever. The problem is that netherite is still suffering from the same problem, but because it's metal, it's possible to alloy it with something. And that brings us to the other stuff that I've been smelting. Lots and lots of gold, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and smelt the rest of this stuff up right here as well. So I got to thinking, what if I took the softest metal available to me, gold, and I combined it with the hardest metal that I have available to me that I can't currently work, ancient debris, or scrap in this case. So I thought, okay, let's alloy the two together. Gold has a lot of properties. It's incredibly enchantable. It's incredibly soft. It's fantastic for making tools with, but the tools don't last long because of how soft the metal is. What do we get if we combine the two? Well, my friends, I know exactly what we get. We get what's known as netherite. We get netherite. Look at this. This stuff is incredible, but here's the thing. 4 scrap to make this netherite ingot, 4 gold ingots to make this netherite ingot. It's still incredibly expensive. So it doesn't really make sense to try to craft an entire piece of equipment out of it. Moreover, despite the fact that it's soft enough to work with, it's still incredibly hard, okay? Which is why I think the way to go forward with this is to use it to plate diamond equipment, okay? So that's what I'm going to do. I am going to use that. That means that I need very little netherite. If I just have to plate a sword, if I just have to plate a shovel, that means I can use a single ingot to improve existing equipment. So that's what I'm going to do. But I'm going to need to make a smithing table to make it possible. So we'll go ahead and get this. Just pop it right down. And if I'm not mistaken, go ahead and combine those, and there you go. Look at that. We're going to move from 5 attack damage and 1.2 attack speed to 6 attack damage. Look at that. Fantastic. Dock Rock is now no longer made out of just diamond. Dock Rock is made out of netherite, or rather a netherite plated diamond axe. So let's go ahead and just grab up the rest of the netherite here, and this is probably enough gold for me to do the same thing. And we will forge as much of it as possible. Well, we're almost there. We're getting there. And there we go. That's all of the netherite that I can make at the current moment. So we'll go ahead and we'll forge the crowd controller, the mud slapper, and the tipped silk. Now I still have 5 netherite ingots left, but I'm not going to do I'm not going to plate my axe here. I have plans, but this brings me to what today's project is, and it's pretty much almost all done at this point, as you can see. Smelt ancient debris, all done. Smelt the gold, all done. Turn those into netherite alloy, all done. Now to forge netherite tools, weapons, and armor. So the tools are all done, the weapons almost all done, but I have to get onto the armor. Which brings me to this. I don't think that netherite is a good thing to plate on top of iron. Iron is not exactly the best material ever. So while I would love to plate this stuff, it's just not in the cards. So let's go ahead and grab this up. Let's wear it for one last time. I need diamond equipment, and because the solution tower it hasn't had any major mining operations done, some, but not a whole lot, there's not enough diamond to make a new set of diamond armor. So that means I need to go back to Crossroads, because Crossroads is also where all of my enchanting equipment is, okay? It's where all of the wealth generation is. It's where the white-collar workers who create the enchanted books and everything that I can work with are, and I have a whole lot of experience that I need to use. It's burning a hole in my pocket right now. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to head out to Crossroads. Going to be a bit of a trip. It's not exactly close, but it'll totally be worth it, and I'm going to make myself a brand new set of enchanted diamond armor and then plate it with netherite. Oh man, the unloading system in this on this rail line is so fantastic. One of these days I should really come out here the hard way, you know, using the overland route, but the underground is just so incredibly convenient. All right, so first things first, guys. If I'm going to do the forging here, I'm going to need an actual table to do the forging with. Okay, so I have to make myself a forge. I could just use the type that I could use one of the stations that the workers have upstairs, but I would prefer not to get my hands on their equipment. Just, you know, ugh. Anyways, so let's go ahead and make ourselves a smithing table. I think that 3 blocks of diamonds is enough to make everything that I need here. Okay, so let's see. We need leggings, boots, chest plate, and a helmet. Okay, cool. Much to my surprise, 3 blocks of diamonds was more than enough. Okay, so go ahead and put that back. I'm gonna go ahead and put the existing forge down right there, and you know what? I think I'm going to do pretty much all of my my forging upstairs, or my enchanting upstairs, but I think that the anvil is nearly exhausted up there, so I'm just gonna go ahead and make myself an extra one here, just to be super safe. All right, and with that done, let's go ahead and hop upstairs. Oh, hey, it's the middle of the night. At least I won't have. At least the banging on the anvil won't be a problem for me. I'll probably wake the workers up though in the process. So, first things first. I could actually forge this armor into Netherite first and then put the enchantments on it, but instead I'm going to do this in the opposite direction. We are going to focus on doing the helmet first, okay? So, first things first, we're going to do the helmet, diamond helmet in, and we're going to do unbreaking first, and then we're going to put mending on it. Oh, almost forgot, I need to rename this as well. So, the helmet needs to be named the Allium Wreath. All right, there we go. So, with that done, we'll then put projectile protection on this, followed by respiration, and closing it up with aqua affinity. All right, so there we go. That is the helmet all finished. Now, I had like, what, 67 levels or something, and I'm down to 23 already. That's a lot of experience that I just blast straight through. So I'm going to go ahead and do something easier. I'm actually going to do the easiest thing, and I'm going to move on to... Let's see. We're going to move on to doing the leggings next. So, unbreaking, mending, and Protection 4. But before I put Protection 4 on, I should probably rename this to what it's supposed to be known as, the Crimson Guard. Okay, so there's another one in the bag, but I only have 9 levels left. Now, because I know the order in which this is going to go, I'm going to move on to doing the chest piece now. So we start with Unbreaking, but we're going to rename this first, and we're going to call it Kresnik. And then we put Mending on, but now I am completely out of levels. I need 11 levels to actually get this leveled up the rest of the way. So this is the other major reason for why I am here at Crossroads, guys. Here at Crossroads, I have this fancy-pantsy chicken pen out back, okay? Like, I don't believe the chicken pen was put in whenever this place was initially finished, but there is a cart running back and forth that constantly picks up chicken eggs. And, oh dear, I left this on. I'll go ahead and shut that off. So there's a cart running back and forth, constantly picking up chicken eggs and depositing them in this chest over here. Oh my god, there's some raw chicken in there. And then this chest finishes, once this chest fills up, the cart just kind of sits there. But I go and take all of the eggs here. I believe I don't know if I filled this chest over here up or not. I take the eggs out of that chest and I load this one over here up. Okay, yeah, sure enough. That actually needs more eggs in it. And I can go ahead and throw this lever and it will constantly huck eggs out onto that wall, and it will continue to spawn tons and tons of additional chickens without actually having to go through the trouble of breeding them, okay? So this is the way that you solve the entire problem of, you know, like having to breed chickens and whatnot. But the other part of this is both feathers and chicken, like actual raw chicken, are very useful in the process of trading. So what I'm going to do now is murder these guys for their experience until I'm, what was it, level 14, I believe, 13 or 14. So just murder all the chickens that I need. Almost there. There we go. Okay, there we go. 14. I got 14 levels now. I can go ahead and run back up to the upper floor of the block, and I can perform the next enchantment. I hope that trader doesn't get inside. I really hate traders. They keep coming around and soliciting me. Okay, so put Kresnik back on the block, and then we're going to put blast mining on it. Oh, that only took 11 levels. Whoops. Well, I knew that it was close to being done. I knew it was close to being completely spent. So the final level is going to cost me 19. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to run around, dump my inventory, go back out, kill a bunch of chickens, and then come right back to get the leftover experience necessary to do this enchantment. And after an undue amount of foul slaughter, I now have 19 levels to enchant Kresnik with Thorns 3. So there we go. That's that. But now I'm completely empty. I don't have enough levels again. And next I have this many enchants to add. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this down a little bit at a time. And this is where we get into the finer points of how levels and everything work, okay? So basically the first 5 to 10 levels that you can gain are excessively cheap, okay? They are the easiest and fastest to get. So it takes roughly 3 levels to add the first 2 enchantments, 4 in total whenever I rename a particular piece of equipment. Now, the expense of actually getting your hands on the first 10 or so levels, between the first 5 and the first 10, it's not that much big of a difference, is there, if there is any at all. It's been a while since I've checked the math. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and talk with this Fletcher, okay? And I have all of these feathers from killing those chickens. So what I'm going to do is just sell off every last feather that I have to the Fletcher and get myself as high of a level as possible. And okay, that's all of the feathers that I had. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to offload all of the chicken, because I have all of these butchers back here who are more than happy enough to trade with me. And I only want to get up to about level 9. I don't have to go any further than that. Did I turn out lucky? No, I didn't turn out lucky. It looks like I needed to grab just a little bit more chicken here. All right, there we go. I'm level 9. Now I can go ahead and run back upstairs, and I can add these first 2 enchantments to the boots that I have, starting with Unbreaking, followed by Mending, but I also have to rename it Ashen Souls. All right, there we go. So now I'm completely enchanted up for just those 2. Next up, I have these remaining 3 enchantments, starting with Fire Protection. And what you basically saw me do is what I'm going to have to continuously do over and over again. I need to level myself up to 7 in order to add the next enchantment, and then I think it's 13 and then 19 to get the rest of these enchantments on, or something close to that. So I'm going to run around trading with everybody here to get my hands on enough experience, and then put the next enchantment on, and then the next one, and then the next one. So now I can add Fire Protection 4, Depth Strider 3, and finally, Feather Falling 4. Oh, wee, that was a lot of running around. So, with that done, I can now hop back down to the basement with my Netherite ingots and access the forge right over here. And the Allium Wreath, followed by Kresnik, Crimson Guard, and finally, the Ashen Souls. But I still have 1 single Netherite ingot, as you can notice, okay? Which, like I said, I wasn't going to replace my axe, Queen Latifah here, because I already have a replacement ready for it. Hawthorn, okay? And it's named Hawthorn for good reason. Now, the main difference between these 2 is that Queen Latifah has Fortune on it and Sharpness 5, as where Hawthorn has Silk Touch and Smite 5. My main focus is that I want my axe to be ready to kill undead. Can't imagine why I may want that. But in any case, we'll go ahead and put that on the table. Make certain that's the right one. Hawthorn, Netherite ingot, bingo. All right, and I am all done. I'm all done, and now I can take off this old set. I'll probably stash it up in my penthouse whenever I'm all done, or maybe it's my executive office. And now I am completely covered head to toe in Netherite armor. This is fantastic. Now, one final thing that I'm going to address before closing out here, which is the fact that in the process of doing all of this, I ran around, I collected everything up. Like, Crossroads serves a very good purpose. I built it for good reason. It's auto-harvesting pumpkins over here. It's auto-shearing sheep over there. And I've also planted up... it's auto-harvesting sugarcane over here. I also have some of the less auto-harvestable things around here, including berry bushes, and chickens as well. And speaking of the chickens, I wanted to address this. There is a cart underneath this, like I said earlier, that runs back and forth and collects up the chicken eggs and deposits them into this chest. Ooh, there's some extra chicken feather there. Now, chicken and feather is perfect for trading with traders, but the other part of it is that having a bunch of eggs here means that I can collect everything up, I can deposit it over here in this little system, and then I can throw the lever, and it will just continuously huck those eggs out and actually create additional chickens for me without my having to actually breed them, like I said earlier. And killing them gets you experience, selling what they drop gets you experience. The only thing that you don't really have an immediate need to sell is the eggs themselves, and that works out just fine for me. So there's an enormous incentive to have this thing in place, and I just wanted to cover the fact that I completely culled all the chickens, but I'm going to have more than enough chickens because that chest over there has more. It's a double chest up there that's feeding into the into the dispenser, and I also have 2 additional barrels here full of eggs ready to go. But with that, guys, I am all finished. As you can see, it's been a wonderful and incredible process, but things are not done quite yet. We're not done quite yet. As you can imagine, while netherite armor is fantastic and netherite tools are amazing, they're not the reason why I got started in the first place. The solution tower, getting it built and having a research facility is the main reason why I did everything. So what I have left to do now, well, the real work begins, the research. So next time around, there are more improvements to do this to the solution facility, but also I need to figure out what exactly happened to the world and whether or not it really was a resonant cascade, as I am suspicious. But until then, as you can see, I am always on the up and up. I am, of course, William Strife, and I will see you all next time. Bye!